Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Folks, this is Farooq Mirza, your host from Fourth Pillar TV USA's program, Washington Global Forum. We welcome our guest, uh, Waleed Ansari Saab, former Deputy Attorney General Pakistan, and from New York, uh, we have with us Professor Dr. Golam Mujtaba Saab. He is a chairperson Pakistan Policy Institute, and he was also a former advisor government of Pakistan, foreign relation uh, expert. Is a very valuable person and Pakistan's friend. So we will talk on today very important issues. The first issue is the Pakistan economy uh, is at the verge of collapse, and we observed almost 537 point low recorded in the stock market, and the banks they have a problem issuing LCs, and even the defense the payments delayed, and there is anarchy in the financial sector. And at the same time, we will also talk on the political situation, a very messy situation, and also some foreign networks, spy networks. They are active in Pakistan. They want to see Pakistan destable, economically destable. We don't know what will happen down the road. And so far, uh, we also uh, gone through different claims and uh, different statements from the silly politicians. We don't know what to do. So, Dr. Saab, Professor Ghulam Mujtaba Saab, coming to you, the stable Pakistan we discussed previously many times. The stable Pakistan, financially secured Pakistan, is in the best interest of the rest of the world. Pakistan did very well and fought others' wars and sacrificed many lives. And right now, where Pakistan is standing, the foreign networks, spy networks, they want to destabilize Pakistan. They want to see destabilize Pakistan economically. Do we are hanging with thread and going to dog? What is the situation? What you have in your plate?
Thank you very much, Farooq Mirza Saab. It is always a pleasure to be in your program, and thank you, Mr. Walid Ansari Saab, to be here in the program together with me. Uh, the situation is very tense economically in the Pakistani economic landscape. As you rightly mentioned, the stock exchange index uh, declined to 537 points in a week's time, which shows a very serious red flag in the economic conditions in Pakistan. The second thing that you rightly mentioned here, that the LCs, the letter of credits to be opened by the banks in Pakistan, is in a complete standstill for the last 3 months, and we do not foresee any good reason, any relief in getting foreign exchange by the banks or maintain the foreign exchange rates in the interbank and open market to open LCs. It's not possible. That means Pakistan's import is totally stopped at this point. There's no trade at all. Then I must also tell you that the University of Karachi, as an example, 45,000 students are not going into classes. There is no educational normalcy at the University of Karachi alone 45,000 students have been affected today. 650 faculty members have not received their salaries. More than 400 visiting professors are not getting any salary from the University of Karachi. And this does not include the non-teaching staff of the university. This is just an example of one of the pioneer educational institutions of Pakistan, from where myself, Walid Ansari, Hussain Akhani, and all the big names of Pakistan, they graduated. Uh, the pensions of the armed forces personnel were also delayed this month. And now a recent clip has been sent to me by one of the TV channels just now in 2 minutes, in the last 2 minutes, that Ishaq Dar has said that he's working on 22 points to give relief or provide relief in the current economic upheavals that Pakistan is facing. This clearly means that the viral statements coming on the social media that the gas stations will be restricted for opening more than 3 days a week. There will be rationing of gas, which has started, even including Islamabad. There will be rationing of electricity because no furnace oil will be available in a month or two. And Pakistan could not place an order to import gasoline into Pakistan. And had that been LC been opened, it takes 3 weeks at least in the shores of Arabian Sea to come to Pakistan. And oil tankers, which are 60,000 metric tons dead weight, are not readily available to transport oil and gas into Pakistan. And these things can only be done if Pakistan has enough cash to make payments. No one is going to give a deferred payment deal to Pakistan on top of the deferred payment on oil for $2 billion provided by Saudi Arabia and $2 billion provided by UAE. This is a very serious issue now. Pakistan has it. Given those factors, in the last week, that means 10 days from today, the Daily Dawn reports that Pakistan has had a net $7.6 billion in the treasury. Of that $7.6 billion, $6 billion are $3 billion each of Saudi Arabia and UAE, which is given as cash to Pakistan to make cash deficiencies in the treasury. And that is on a condition that whenever Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates wants the money back, that should be transported back to them within 24 hours. That means you cannot these funds. If you deduct that $6 billion from the $7.6 billion, the amount is $1.6 billion left. Of that $1.6 billion, the very serious note before the Pakistani public and your audience is that the Treasury had to pay $1 billion last week to Citibank on the Euro bonds that was floated by Pakistan. Now,
Dr. Saab, thank you.
No. Let me go. Now, 1.6 being deducted by $1 billion of Euro bonds, Pakistan was left with $0.6 billion. And ADPP, on a past deal with Pakistan, had provided $0.5 billion last week, which makes a total sum of $1.1 billion in the national treasury. And after the expenses this week, the expenses Pakistan has in trade is $4 billion a month, $1 billion a week. And you had $1.1 billion left by the end of the last week. Now, where do we stand today? It's the writing on the wall. I do not have to give you the figures, but Ishaq Dar has to come up right straight before the people of Pakistan and give a right story to the people of Pakistan, not BS. that I can manage these things. Come on. Selling Pakistani hotel in New York, Roosevelt Hotel, selling Pakistani assets, selling Pakistani industries, and selling Pakistani airports and harbors, ports. This is not a solution to Pakistan's problem. You are trying to damage Pakistan by acting as termite.
Dr. Saab,
Very
Dr. Saab,
in,
Dr. Saab,
in
thank you very
very what?
Dr. Saab, thank you very much. I will come back to you. We will take from there. These are the very scary situation you just mentioned. Uh, Waleed Ansari Saab, I'm in Pakistan and I uh, made a special trip to Central Punjab and South Punjab, and I was in also in Karachi. What I observed, business is as usual. People they are eating, restaurants they are full, and the people they are crowded everywhere. There is no problem with the oil and gas so far, and at my home right now the gas is running, and the electricity is functional. The finance minister repeatedly he responded to the press questions that there is no chance that Pakistan will be collapsed. Everything is under control. Okay, all these scary facts and some the uh, the economy, the threats to the economy. I think the. Do you think Walid Ansari Saab is just a propaganda, or we are really going to dogs?
Well, I don't know if we are really going to the dog, but I do feel that the economy is in trouble. And I said, I think last time, if I remember correctly, that the $50 billion loan that was obtained by the previous government, that is now fruiting, it is ripening, the fruits are ripening, and it's a sorry state of affairs because it has become very difficult to repay those loans. And I think it is because of loan repayments that our cash position foreign exchange reserves are low. Dr. Saab has rightly pointed out that what they are doing is giving us hopes, unfounded hopes. I have heard that they are considering even those who are holding, like what happened during Mr. Nawaz Sharif's first government, I think, when the atomic issue took place and our economy was under strain. So they seized all foreign exchange reserves. They are thinking of doing that as well. That they are going to, they have a new method by which they're going to allow you only to withdraw Pakistani rupees from foreign currency accounts that you hold, and they will let you do that after a certain period. So this is one of the um, solutions that Mr. Sagdar is working on. Plus, there are a lot of other things like essential imports are going to be um, only non-essential imports are going to be forbidden, and only those regarding military or machinery hardware will be allowed. I hear that they are giving those instructions to the banks as well. But saying all that, the fact remains that the economy is in deep trouble. We don't have uh, money to pay a lot of our imports. And like you said, the LCs are at a standstill. There are no dollars available in the market. So where does one go from there? And to take loans, further loans is only going to make things worse. But we are in a catch 22 situation where we are unable to um, maneuver ourselves out of the situation. And we are not too sure what we can do and how much of drastic actions can we take. This is I'm talking about the federal government because this is going to be an election year next year. So they are in a pretty big fix. They were in a hurry to take over government. But the thing is that the mess that was created, and it's a big mess, is going to be difficult to circumvent, or to solve. We have to see what Mr. Sagdar can come up with. There are not many options that he can exercise here. So we We are in a default situation, and any moment we can stop repayments. Because, like he had said, Mr. Professor Ghulam Murtaza has said, these 7 billion, there are almost less than under $7 billion left. This must be the not the money given by Saudi Arabia also. I think all of that has been used. This must be the holdings of the private individuals in the banks. The banks also have something like $6-7 billion. So to me, it looks like these are those holdings of foreign currency accounts held by private banks. The national economy has almost exhausted its own resources. It was promised $3 additional billion by Saudi Arabia and $9 billion by China. But we have not, about a month ago, we have not seen that materialize at the moment. So how we are going to do this is anybody's guess. Over to you,
Uh,
sir.
Dr. Ghulam Mujtaba Saab, thank you, Waleed Ansari Saab. Dr. Ghulam Mujtaba Saab, the situation right now seems to be very scary. And Pakistan was pushed back. If you saw during the Corona crisis, uh, then now recently the uh, the the floods in Pakistan, almost there was a disaster in the entire country. Still, uh, people they don't have a life in these rehabilitation. These services they are also undermined. At the same time, you saw there was an attack on our departments and army institutions, and at the same time, we saw the anti-Pakistan forces. They start threatening and propagating that Pakistan will collapse anytime. And after that, what will happen? And they are talking on Afghanistan and especially on Sindh. At the same time, we received a very serious threat from our neighboring uh, country that we have a conflict, and our new army chief has to respond in a very tough way. So, Dr. Saab, from the American perspective, the situation right now we are discussing is really is very serious. What is the remedy? And do you think the foreign these networks and spying agencies they are trying to destabilize Pakistan and try to take advantage of this serious situation?
couple,
What is the remedy? How we will come out from this mess as system is also going to collapse?
uh, there are some serious issues here. The first thing that I like to remind your initial question with Mr. Walid Ansari, and that is a very pertinent question before I go into the paradigm as to how the force of Pakistan work in Pakistan through covert operations. Uh, in Dhaka, when there was a fall of Dhaka on the 16th December of 1971, the two big hotels in Dhaka, that means the Intercontinental Dhaka and Shahbag Hotel in Dhaka, they were the five-star hotels, the top hotels of Dhaka, and they were jam-packed in the cafeteria and in the dining room. There was not enough space for people to sit down and get a room there. That did not reflect the economic condition of East Pakistan. There is always 5% of the population who are not affected by any calamity, by any disaster. For example, I have my siblings in Pakistan and I have my business in the United States. Any economic condition that goes bad in Pakistan that will not affect my people, my friends, my siblings, at least whatever I can do, I will support them. And that support will come in terms of dollars. So they can go to Marriott, they can go to Serena, they can go to Pearl Continental. They will not be affected. But that does not reflect the population of Pakistan. The population of Pakistan, I mentioned to you, 45,000 students are without classrooms today at the University of Karachi alone. That shows the population. More than thousands, 6,000 faculty members are without salaries. That shows, reflects the population. So when you're talking of something in the hotel, that does not reflect the entire population of the country. The population of the country is facing gas shortages even in their homes. There is rationing in Pakistan, and there is an expected decline in the reserves, in oil reserves, which you know it. So these are real facts. Now the question is, how would you address those facts? How are you going to deal with those facts? Mr. Walid Ansari is right that these $7 billion do not reflect the actual amount Pakistan Treasury has. This is just a jugglery of numbers. Why? Because private banks have a holding of private accounts of more than $6 billion of private customers. Where is that money? That money is not included. So if that is not included, then this is not your money, private individuals' money. And then that means you have already gone bankrupt. The question is, you don't want to use the word bankrupt. Why not? Why LCs are not open today? Why traders in Pakistan are not getting LCs for the past 3 months? I have my friends who are traders in Pakistan. They have opened their LCs 3 months back, and still that has not been materialized. Where is that money? That is sitting with the banks, and that money is included in the $7 billion. That's huge sum of money. I one of my friends, he opened an LC for $10 million. It has not been realized today. What's wrong? This is the exact economic situation. Let's be very open to the people of Pakistan. They should know the reality. It's not something to be hoodwinked here. These are realities, and I've told the law enforcement agencies and those individuals who are listening to this, the officials, they know it. In the program, I will open the entire debate that there is no money. Just do not BS to the people of Pakistan. It's absolutely wrong. Now, let's come to the remedial action as to what could be done.
Yeah, this is
Remedial
the
action,
question right now.
yes, remedial action and the reasons. Why? As a doctor, when we study a patient, we want to know what reasons are behind these factors. What is the pathology? What is the disease state? What's the etiology? Why did this became so much prominent? Why this has come to be faced by the people of Pakistan? Only because of corruption. When Murad Saeed came after PTI government that Imran Khan आएगी और 2 दिन में $200 बिलियन लाएगी, पहले दिन के अंदर 100 बिलियन डोनर्स को फॉरेन लोन देने वालों को के मुंह पर मारेगी, उसके बाद दूसरे दिन वो पाकिस्तानी अवाम को देगी. Can Murad Saeed come in and tell me that if you are a real man of your real father, give me an answer. You were 3.5 years in the government. Where is that looted wealth? Instead of doing that, you brought the Toshakhana. You sold the ghadi, the wristwatch. You damaged Pakistan's economy on so many things. Number of things. It's not one thing, dozens of things. Pakistan's basic problem are the Daku Mala Jats of Pakistan. Pakistan's politicians are proven Dakus, proven thugs who have corrupted Pakistan, who have taken Pakistan's money out of Pakistan, living their lavish life outside Pakistan, building up mansions outside of Pakistan, sending their money and wealth outside of Pakistan, telling Pakistani people to spend in Gwadar and spending their money from Gwadar to the United States. What's going on? Who is going to take care of them? Why should the poor of Pakistan pay the price of these looters and these corrupted politicians of Pakistan? Why? Why should I pay a price when I'm an honest man? Why should my siblings pay a price for that?
Dr. Saab, you did not.
This money has to come back to Pakistan to bring Pakistan on its foot. No one is a cousin brother of Pakistan who is going to help Pakistan repeatedly, and you are going to keep on making corruptions and embezzlement of funds. That is not going to work. The only answer is Hafiz Sahab has to take a strong stand. Hafiz Sahab has to come up and declare that there is financial emergency in Pakistan. We have to save and defend the people of Pakistan. These days, wars are not only contested on the borders of the country.
Dr. Saab,
Wars,
thank you very much.
wars are on economy, and economic war also always gives you the edge in winning any war, including
Dr.
wars
Saab,
on borders.
Dr. Saab,
If
I
you
will
do
come
not
back
have
to
money,
you.
no, I must tell you one more thing. India in 1965 war had a total foreign currency reserve. You can go to Google search, $500 million. Pakistan in 1965 war had a foreign currency reserve of $5 billion, 10 times more than India. And today, after 57 years of 65 war, Pakistan has no money and India has $650 billion in the national exchequer. This is the difference. What leadership
Walid,
has done in the last 30 to 40 years in Pakistan, they have damaged and collapsed Pakistan's economy. These people should be prosecuted, brought before the public, and hanged on the electric polls to give them an exemplary example that this is not Pakistan is going to face.
Dr. Golam Mujtaba Saab, Dr. Saab, I will come back to you. You add more fuel to fire, and I believe Walid Ansari Saab, I will come back to you. The situation Dr. Saab mentioned is a alarming situation. I think we are already crossing a saturation state. The politicians, they are corrupt. He mentioned, and the the financial institutions, businessmen, they are corrupt. Banks, they are corrupt. The money, they disappear overnight, and uh, the the institution, they will defend. And Dr. Saab mentioned that they should come and impose emergency and go after these. There is a divide. We saw a divide, and they clearly, uh, repeatedly, they said they don't want to be a part of this political divide. So they won't. So our intelligence agencies, uh, we also saw there a visible divide within these intelligence networks. So then, who will come to rescue Pakistan? There is no force that the public, they trust on that. So what is the remedy? Let's talk about the remedy. The Pakistan army, they will not impose martial law. They will not impose any emergency in Pakistan. They will be a professional, and they will just take care of a security situation. And the security situation is also uh, undermined, and is under threat. So how we will come off this mess, Walid Ansari sir?
Well, I would like to state initially that our economy is a consumption-based growth we have uh, in Pakistan. It is not based on production and export. So this as economy like this is very difficult to sustain in the long run, and we have reached that long run. The thing is, the army says that it's going to be neutral. There is no way it can stay neutral if the economy collapses and the politicians are unable to do anything further. Elections that are promised to be held this year, in the coming year, will provide no solution to this country. It will be the same lot of people who will be back in government with the little changes in the faces. But the system will remain, corruption will remain. NAB has been, ordinance has already been amended to suit them. So if there's going to be corruption that is being given institutional support through um, laws that are being amended or promulgated, where is the solution going to lie? I had suggested many years ago, I think this is around 20 years ago, one of the National Assembly members, those days this is Musharraf's time, were talking about a National Security Council. So I had said, I think a National Security Council is very important for this country because you have on one side the military who is apprehensive of our politicians, and you have politicians on the other side who can't control themselves. So if you have everybody sitting in one place, and I said the constitution of that National Security Council should be looked into, because you can have an expanded one with the intellectuals, economists in there, who can provide the national guidance, guidelines for this country, which should be followed. And this would have the approval of everybody sitting in that council. So that was turned down. They said, no, if we will allow the military in there. I said, well, if you don't allow them, then they will take over if things are going to be bad. Nobody wants that also. So it is better that you sit in a council and everybody sorts out the issues. They have their priorities. You give and take, of course, and the country will run. You can't ignore the military. We can't have this ostrich approach and put our heads in the hole in the earth and say that no, nothing, none of this exists. It's very much there. So if the economy is going to collapse, I don't know how long will the army stay neutral. It doesn't look like it's possible. As far as the remedy is concerned, the remedy, there are three, four major fields where action is required. Number one, corruption needs to be handled with an iron hand. And I think it's about time that all the properties of those who have made money through unlawful means should be confiscated to the state en masse. No mercy for anybody. And there's plenty evidence on board. If you are going to leave this to the FIA or the anti-corruption department or to NAB, it is going to take years and possibly not even happen. So there's something new has to be brought out, something new has to be created. Number two is that all expenses of running government needs to be drastically slashed. This is going to be very difficult for the bureaucrats, but somebody has to bell the cat, as they say. And number three is that all consumption-based growth should be stopped forthwith. Production-based economy should be initiated. They should look for new markets, new products, and they should try and expand on what are our strong points, like we have in garments or exports. Even we used to be an agricultural exporter of wheat. Now we are importing wheat. It's such a sad story that they have not even been able to make small reservoirs or check dams. So I think this country is really sleeping on its future, and the potential is very great. Trade with our neighbors is so essential, and we have such a big market around. We can always discuss issues with them, crucial issues. I'm talking about Kashmir. But it does not mean that we close it. It's like what the Israelis are doing to the Palestinians, that unless this doesn't happen, we will not talk to you. So this doesn't happen then. And then there are no talks. And if there are no talks, there's no moving forward. I think with the 1.3 plus billion market in India, we have a great potential for export. In fact, we are importing from them more than we are exporting. So it should be the other way around. Plus, Pakistan, like Qaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah had said, is the pivot of this world. And a time will come that everything will pass through Pakistan, which is true. It is the doorway between South Asia and Far East to Middle East and onwards to Europe and even to the Near East, to the Mediterranean. If you have such a potential and you are not exploring it, God have mercy on you.
Thank you very much, Walid Ansari Saab. You said very well. Come back to Dr. Golam Mujtaba Saab. We are talking about the remedy and definite solution of this economical and political mess. Dr. Saab, we also talk about last time the presence of some spy networks in Pakistan. They are very active and they're trying to destabilize Pakistan economically and politically. So there are two major spying agencies. They are in the region. One is a RAW and one is an ISI. So the Pakistan Army and ISI that was attacked recently, and we saw the visible divide within these agencies. And after that, uh, the exaggerated facts about our economy, about our politics, about our defense mechanism, and there were multiple attacks on Pakistan. So, do you think uh, the one particular agency is taking a lead and getting deep into our system and trying to destabilize Pakistan inner side?
I think the basic problem here is ISI is facing two fronts. One, the foes of Pakistan across the borders and their intervention inside the borders. And then the second area which is being faced by the ISI are the domestic foes sitting within Pakistan. So these are within the borders, within Pakistan, and trying to damage Pakistan's interest and national security priorities. In order to deal with that, does ISI has the tools and means to deal as a prime intelligence agency like it was doing in the Afghanistan war, like it was doing in the Soviet Union's war in Afghanistan, or like the war in 1965, not 1971. 1971 has brought a pattern that we are facing today, has brought a paradigm that we are faced today. And that paradigm is where ISI is being dragged on by the insiders from within the country. And that is a very serious issue. We have to identify and locate who are the foes of Pakistan and who are those foes living within Pakistan. There are people who are working for neighbors' interest and holding Pakistani passports. There are people who want to damage Pakistan American relationship because they want to benefit the neighbor. This is not Pakistan's interest. Pakistan's interests are Pakistan's priorities. If we want to go with China and want to build up our relationship, Pakistan is a sovereign nation. Pakistan has all the rights to do that. There is no objection that anyone can place it. But one has to assess independently, above bias, that why America is not supporting Pakistan. What are the impediments that we are facing today? The report of the DoD, Department of Defense, published last Tuesday, just 6 days from today, reflects that Pakistan is a frontline state of China to promote Chinese interest in Pakistan. If this is the report of the DoD, then this is a valid report of American intelligence, the CIA, the NASA, the FBI, and all the institutions. And this is a consensus approach. Why this is the result of intel investigation of the US. We have to find out reasons why this has happened and what mistakes Pakistan is doing. To me, as a man sitting outside, let me also tell you before mixing up the issues, Mr. Walid Ansari said on the National Security Council on the check and balance method within the Pakistan's national security. Brigadier Amanullah Khan, now it's an old story, so I can leak out this state secret. In 1993, when I was in the cabinet, Brigadier Amanullah Khan was the dead commander of military intelligence Karachi, assisted by Colonel Liaquat Malik. I was the one, and I repeat again before your audience, make it a recorded statement. I was the one who proposed the formation of National Security Council of Pakistan. And I said that the president, I gave a document that the president of Pakistan, the prime minister of Pakistan, the three armed forces chiefs, the joint chief, the chief justice, they should be made members of the National Security Council of Pakistan. Keep a check and balance into nascent democracy in Pakistan. So no one works or benefits the foes of Pakistan in the process, and they should be checked. That was the basic concept before National Security Council formation by the Pakistan government. Now, has that worked? I don't see anything. When the cipher story came in, the president was saying something else what Imran Khan was saying. And now, what we see today, that those people who worked against Pakistan's interest, against Pakistan-US relationship, they brought the man who was the mastermind of the cipher story, who sent the cable from the US, who was targeted as a cipher story, cable story. He is being made the foreign secretary at a time when Pakistan army is engaged in postings and transfers. And when the Pakistan army leadership is engaged, they try to find a way to put him on the top slot of the foreign office. This is not going to help Pakistan-American relationship. He was seen friendly with Rao Khanna, the man who put forward a legislation against Pakistan army in the US Congress to declare 1971 war as a genocide by the Pakistan army at the hands of Pakistan army against Hindu Bengalis, 2 million Hindu Bengalis, the legislation says, were murdered by Pakistan army. There was not even 2 million Hindu Bengalis present in East Pakistan in 1971. This is a disinformation. And Pakistan's ambassador met him, and he is there on the picture in the Pakistan embassy website. If this is the way Pakistan is going to work, if this is the story behind Pakistan's foreign policy, that do not complain about policies of the United States. United States policies will go with those who want to support US policies. It goes both hands. It do not go one hand. So you have to understand that if you want to portray America as an enemy of Pakistan, burning flags on the streets of Pakistan, and the man behind the cipher story becomes the head of Pakistan's foreign office, this is not going to help Pakistan-US relationship.
Dr. Saab, thank you very
I have
much.
sent a personal message to Bilawal Bhutto.
Yeah, Dr. Saab,
And this
Dr.
cannot
Saab,
happen. This transfer and posting cannot happen without your tacit approval as a foreign minister. And then the next day, I was told that he had arranged an interview with Al Jazeera. That is all stories
Dr. Saab,
to cover up what has been done, damage has been done by doing that. This is a
Dr.
serious
Saab,
matter. It's not something very to be
Dr.
hushed.
Saab, thank you very much. Dr. Saab, you mentioned very important name, Dr. Asad. Basically, Dr. Asad made a mockery of Pakistan, and he is the main conspirator, and he designed this cipher conspiracy, and after that, everything is exposed. And while he was as an ambassador in Washington, D.C., he was working against Pakistan. We repeatedly mentioned, and we also wrote stories about it. One particular thing, he was also doing a very personal favor to Imran Khan as well, for his uh, organization Ikdar, IKDAR, and he was issuing official letters to shut it down when there was an danger that this hidden the story will be exposed. So he did many bad things. Even he blocked media, and he created a lot of nonsense against Pakistan. And right now, we also heard that he used to meet with Indian uh, raw agents in Washington D.C. in official capacity, and the same group they used to meet with the Indian ambassador in Washington D.C. So even we saw that kind of diplomatic uh, nonsense, and now it is a big surprise for us that two elements they are coming back to our diplomatic team. One is Maliha Lodi, and she was a bad surprise for Pakistan. She caught red-handed and she was fired. Now I don't know who want to put him back. In the same way, Asad Majid, his appointment. I think Walid and Sari Saab, the people they are a part of conspiracies and the part of
Before
failure
you go,
diplomacy.
before you go to a question with Mr. Walid Ansari, let me just add one thing here and then you can go. This type of message, if the people who are friends to the foes of Pakistan get elevated to higher posts, join cabinets, and become important functionaries in Pakistan, what is the message to people like me and you who are honestly working for Pakistan? That you should not do that. These are the people who are going to prosper in the society, who are working with the foes of Pakistan, who are working for India's interest. They are being placed at the top positions in Pakistan. This is the message. This message is very dangerous for Pakistan's national security. This is where ISI is failing today. And I want to give a clear message to the new ISI Director General and to the outgoing Director General that your problem is to identify those who are Pakistani patriots and working for Pakistan from their own pockets are being subdued by these idiots. What message Pakistan's national security is giving to us? Thank you.
Walid Ansari Sahab, I have two questions. One that we just talk about the diplomatic failure and those who threatened our foreign policy, like Dr. Asad Majid is going to be our new foreign secretary, and another name is coming up, Dr. Maliha Lodi. Dr. Maliha Lodi, she was involved in embezzlement and loot, and even she made a mockery of General Assembly in United Nations General Assembly floor, and she used to dance with a junky Pakistani movie and film star, these half naked women. In, and you will not believe that the Burhan Wani, uh, on his death anniversary, the world was celebrating. In Pakistan, they were celebrating, paying tribute to this young man that who ignited the Kashmir cause. And on that particular day, she was dancing with these junkie stars, and she was caught red-handed. And one of the Indian diplomat, he was present in her house, a Pakistan house, and then after that she was fired. Now she is coming uh, uh, back to the same position. Number one, the my question this part is number one: how dangerous is that reappointing these anti-mind Pakistan mindset people? And secondly, our court system, like Supreme Court is becoming a spectator, and they are watching all this political and economical nonsense. So previously they used to take suo moto actions, and they put the country on the line. But what happened to our justice system? They are not also responding.
It's a very
Walid Ansari.
comprehensive question. First of all, I would like to support what Mr. Professor Dr. Golam Mujtaba has just said, and which is that appointments in this country need to be verified, vetted, and confirmed before the people are put on crucial posts or positions. It is a sad story with our history that we have had people who have worked against the country who have even have a role in breaking this country. And there are those who are continuing in such a position. How to stop that or how to bring in a system where such appointments are made? I think maybe the National Security Council or any council entrusted with appointments of this country might do a better job, because until and unless you don't vet a person and see their past record, I think it is futile to give them the same job or a different or any new job, or even put in a position where Pakistani interests are being managed. As far as Dr. Malia Lodi's case is concerned, I'm not aware of what you have just mentioned, what she had done, but the job of an ambassador is to reflect the national ethos, the national politics, and the national the constitution of the country and what the political system or what is expected from representatives to forward, they should be doing that. They should not bring in their own personal desires or their own ambitions and try and impose a culture or a system that is alien to the ethos of the nation. So for anybody, even for Dr. Malia Lodhi to have indulged in something like that while Burhan Bani was being remembered is sad story. So reappointing such people is maybe not on, if in fact she is guilty of that. But she has done good work also. However, I leave that to those people who are better acquainted with her job and her whatever her past record is concerned. As far as diplomatic failures are concerned, to Mr. making Dr. Asad Majid the foreign secretary, especially in the face of what you have just said, I think that is not on at all. I don't think somebody like Dr. Asad Majid should be anywhere close to the foreign office in such a case. And as you know that we have even awarded pro-Indians with our medals of honor, our national medals. How that was possible is also a big mystery, and why it has not been undone or revoked or removed. So these are big questions. But as far as courts coming into this fray and exercising their power of suo motu notice, courts are limited in their approach to how far they will go and in which fields they will go. Certainly, as far as foreign affairs are concerned, the courts are not going to intervene and they will leave it to the foreign office or to the federal government. But we never know, because this public litigation or being active in public interest, in the public interest by certain judges in the past, has laid down a precedent. So sometimes it goes a little overboard and they put on their brakes. So they have to see how far they can go, what is crucial for the country, where they can intervene, and to what extent they can do that. Normally, they wait for petitions to be filed so they could give a ruling on that. But when something like that is not coming, so then courts exercise suo motu. They don't wait for people unless they find something that is crucial. So I'm not too clear on whether they would like to come into the fray as far as appointments are concerned. But if an appointment is challenged, they may make a decision then and send it to
Thank you
maybe
very
the
much, Walid
parliamentary
Ansari
committee.
Saab. You were very careful responding. Thank you very much. Dr. Ghulam Mujtaba Saab, the economical situation, what we discussed right now. So we found no solution at that stage, and there is no remedy because it's too messy and too difficult and too intricate that no one has a solution. But I want to divert your attention towards the diaspora that always rescued Pakistan previously. I think, do you think the Pakistani diaspora should come forward and send remittance to Pakistan at this difficult stage? But at the same time, there is a mistrust, and the people that living overseas, uh, they are not dealt so friendly way. So, do you think the diaspora can play a vital role to bring Pakistan's economy back?
Mr. Farooq Mirza Sahab, first of all, there's no such thing as hopeless in finding remedial action. I did not use any hopeless statement here. What I said is the situation is hopeless, but we have remedies to help out. I give you an example to your audience that I was sitting at a meeting with few congressional leaders and including one of the top advocacy groups of the United States. I would not name the advocacy group because of privacy laws, but I must tell you that the gentleman who is the chairman of the advocacy group. He jumped near my seat while in the discussion, and he said, Dr. Mujtaba, what's the problem with Pakistan? I said, listen, the only problem we have is we don't have money, and we are not getting enough money, and we are not getting enough trade for Pakistan. If we get money for 2 months, what's going to happen in the third month? Then he said, why? The United States, as a policy, is bringing the capitals of US corporations from China to other countries as a policy, disinvesting their money, US corporations from China, mainland China. And that disinvestment is going into investment in Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, and other neighboring countries. Why it's not going into Pakistan? I understand. This is what he said. I understand. And this is one of the top businessmen of America talking to me. So I understand the political atmosphere in Pakistan does not allow investors to go there. The non-friendly attitude of Pakistan's government towards America is not helping American investment go into Pakistan. It's trying to capitalize on Chinese investment, and we all know what China is going to do with Pakistan, like Sri Lanka, the paradigm that is established. It is called debt trap in all the books, the Chinese debt trap. Pakistan is deep into Chinese debt trap. One thing he said I can do, if you create an atmosphere, and if a person like you is brought up to run the policy of Pakistan, I can assure you that we can give you 3, 4, $500 billion investment into Pakistan just on one call by the American investors to bring their investments into Pakistan. You have to provide a congenial atmosphere, a friendly atmosphere to the US investors. But given this, the situation, the hostile situation against American interest in Pakistan, bringing Asad Majid into Pakistan, talking of cipher story, damaging America's interest, do you think any man with wisdom holding American citizenship would like to go into Pakistan in this atmosphere where
Dr. Saab, thank you
American
very much.
flag
It's a big
opened?
question.
We can
You
handle
left.
Pakistan in 2 weeks' time. And this is my message to Hafiz Saab. Hafiz Saab, be courageous. Stand up like you stand up on the borders of Pakistan. Show solidarity with the people of Pakistan and give us the opportunity to bring capital into Pakistan in an atmosphere that is friendly to the friendly nations of Pakistan. Do
Dr.
not
Saab, there
let
is a
these
big.
people promote Gwadar and take their money from Gwadar to the US. That is
Dr. Saab,
not the paradigm that's going to help Pakistan. For the
Dr.
last
Saab, thank.
2006 until today, we are hearing CPEC, and that CPEC has brought up to this point. Thank you.
Dr. Saab, you left a very big question, and you also requested a new Pakistan Army Chief to carry on as a finance minister of Pakistan. I think that won't happen because they already decided not to be
No,
a
no,
part of
no,
any
no, no,
political
no, no,
system.
no, no. Let me correct you here. There is an article in Pakistan's constitution. I am not talking extrajudicial. There's an article in Pakistan constitution that if there is a need for financial emergency, it can be invoked under Article 238, if I'm not wrong.
Dr. Saab, we will time's up.
And then the assemblies can be dissolved, interim
Yeah.
government can be formed, and Pakistan Armed Forces can be given powers under 245 for
Dr. Saab,
emergency power. This is constitutional. It
Dr.
is
Saab,
not
it's a big.
unconstitutional.
Dr. Saab, it's a big topic. Time's up, folks. Thank you very much for your time. Waleed Ansari Saab, Professor Golam Mujtaba Saab. We had a heated arguments on Pakistan's economy, Pakistan's integrity, Pakistani politics, and we also talk on foreign policies and relationship between America and Pakistan and China. So it's all messy, but we hope that the things they are not too much out of hand. Uh, the business is running usual, and I also believe that the our uh, defense system and mechanism, our economic system, and judicial system, and the political system they will soon realize that there should be an harmony between all these institutions to work all together. So at this point, uh, we need a prudence and a wisdom to deal with, especially for the Pakistan economy and Pakistan foreign relationship. We should be very wise enough to uh, maintain equal relationship based on the independence. So uh, Pakistan should also review its foreign policy and the diplomatic. These new appointments, they are, I think, a visible threat to Pakistan's relationship with the rest of the world. Dr. Asad Majid was a mess and he was a part of conspiracy. He shouldn't be a part of any foreign relation related jobs. In the same way, Dr. Maliha Lodi, she was also a mess and she shouldn't be appointed to any high level diplomatic front like United States of America and Europe. That would be a very big bad decision. So we hope Pakistan uh, will do better, and the politicians, they will realize, and they will end controversies, and they will work all together to maintain credibility of our Pakistan's parliament, and they will respect our court system, and they will also respect Pakistan Army and its departments. And we also talked on the foreign networks. They are uh, trying to destabilize Pakistan on every front. I think they will also be disappointed. We trust our Pakistani department. So, folks, last thing, all the participants and our panel, they have independent uh, point of view, and we are not responsible for any personal or any anything said on this. About the person, whatever said, they have a right to send us their opinion. They can be a part of our program, and we invite them, especially Dr. Asad Majid and Dr. Maliha Lodi. They should come and explain their situation and point of view. So we will come back with a new topic. Walid Ansari Saab, Professor Dr. Golam Mujtaba Saab. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pakistan Zindabad.
Pakistan